Right now we're going to move on with a look through today's French newspapers with Nicholas Rushworth. Hi there, Nick.
Hi to you, Catherine.
And I understand you found that a lot of the headlines have election fever. We've got local elections coming up in a week's time here in France.
Well, departmental elections, that would be small fry for lots of people, but actually really a benchmark of the opinion of the French people this week. It's the election first round of the departmental, as they're called, will be on Sunday, a second round the following Sunday. Now, let's go to Le Figaro, Catherine, which is leading that neck and neck at this point are the far-right National Front and the UMP, also on the right wing, the centre-right. A poll is giving the FN, the far-right National Front, 30% support, almost 1 in 3 French people there, and 29% for the UMP, and the ruling Socialists trailing by 11 points in this poll. So really, they're the ruling party in deep trouble. Let's go to the front page editorial of Le Figaro, which is saying that only the UMP now can stop the far right in its tracks. There'll be the first round will get those initial results, and then there'll be kind of trade-off politics going on till the second round. Now, the paper Le Figaro is arguing the centre-right UMP must handle things skillfully. It must not insult the people who have voted far-right. It must address their concerns instead, and that means talking about taxes and, of course, that hot topic, immigration.
I'm just thinking this might be a bit confusing for our viewers outside of France or who maybe don't follow French politics as closely as we do, because the president, of course, is socialist, the government is socialist. So how can it be that on this local level, 1 in 3 people want to vote far right?
Well, we've seen over several elections that the far-right National Front have gained ground. We saw that last year in the municipal vote, in the European vote, the senatorial vote. Later on this year, we'll have other elections. So there's a whole stratosphere of elections in France. Let's go to another paper, right-wing again, L'Opinion, which is announcing that there is a disaster in the pipeline for the left wing. And you mentioned there President Hollande and Manuel Valls, the Prime Minister. They're not directly concerned about the departmentals, but L'Opinion this Monday is saying, well, yes, they are, because where does Manuel Valls come from? He comes from the Essonne department. Where does Hollande come from? The Corrèze department in the centre of the country. And both of those departments are under threat. Are we going to see the Socialists losing 20, 30, 40 departments this first round vote and the second round vote? Let me go over to Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France, which is looking at one department in particular, there, the N department. And what we've got here is the headline. This is really the department that the Front National want. So there you can see the inside pages showing a picture of Marine Le Pen in the cartoon. And that paper looks very much at the different people who are voting in this department, which is in the north of France, Picardy. And what we're seeing is actually just globalized dissatisfaction, really. People are saying, well, I've never voted for them before, but I will this time. Why not? What do I lose? One 63-year-old woman who works in a market says, Jan, she says, well, I'm retired, but I have to sell in the market to make ends meet during the week. We're the lost French of the country. Now, Le Parisien is leading on this department because this is not at all a department that really, the N, would never, ever vote for Marine Le Pen and the far-right National Front. We're talking about 41% support in this, in the polls that there. So, there, what we've got is really a portrait of France which is unhappy, disgruntled, fed-upness. You know, they're really saying we're making a protest vote here.
OK, well, let's move on to another story away from elections and politics. The kosher supermarket that was attacked in Paris in January, it's reopened on Sunday.
Well, and Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France, sticking with that paper, has an interview with one of the survivors, and his name is Jean-Luc Sternou, and there you can see him. He's 52 years of age, and the headline says, the pain of the experience of that attack in January cannot be wiped out with a sort of brush of paint as the store reopens. And he talks about his sleepless nights, the anguish he's felt, just not being able to go out very much to do any shopping, and certainly not in the kosher store. So we remembered that the terrorist Amadi Coulibaly attacked several people in the shop on the 9th of January, and he was one of the guys, Jean-Luc Stonou, who went down into the cold store in the basement and hid with 7 other people. And he said, if I hadn't dodged his line of fire in one instant, I would have been dead.
Very dramatic, and we can read about that in today's Le Parisien. Thanks very much, Nick Rushworth. We'll be back a bit later on with a look through the international papers for us as well.